So today Guy's going to be showing us, Guy Plante, one of our really good consultants, is going to show us the UI templates with SAP and how to organize your fields. So just a second, Guy, and I'll make you presenter. There you go. You got that?
Yep.
Okay, good.
All set?
All set.
Good. I'll go. Let's start my SAP Business One. Okay, that's my PowerPoint. I'm going to hide this. Okay, PowerPoint. Here, what we're going to see this afternoon. We're going to look at the form settings, the way it's set, the way we used to work. Then we'll look at the UI configuration template, and we'll do a little look at the user group, how we can define user group in the system as well as it can be used in the UI configuration template. So here I am. Let's go in SAP Business One. As we all know, currently with the old version of SAP Business One, we could go in the application and change the template, partially the template the way we wanted. So one feature we had was we could do the form settings, and within that form setting we could set the order of the field we want on the grid here. That's the just by clicking the visible field or the active field to make it visible or not. And then we could go in and move the field around. Let's say I want my warehouse, and I want my warehouse to be moved before the tax code, and I will drag it and move it before the tax code. So that was basically the limitation we had with the form setting in SAP. And it was very long to do, as all those customization were done for a specific user. So if we had to do the change for a user one, we had to go on his workstation, work with his user profile, and then do the change. Then change user, do the same thing with the same user. So if you have 5 users, not that bad. If you have 20, it's kind of long and prone to mistake. So SAP in version 9.1, they came up with the UI configuration template option that allows us to create a template that we can apply to all group of users, specific users. And this is available for all forms in SAP. So the option is in administration, it's in utilities, and it's called UI configuration template. So when I click on this, I get the standard UI template that SAP gives us. It's for this database for the US. There's a US simple form that they give, but we can create our own. So within that template, within that menu, what we can do a Control I to add form to add a new template. Let's say I will call the first one customer service. Customer service. Go with customer service. Then I will create my template. And within the template, I can select all documents I want to work with. So if I look at the drop-down, there's a drop-down that SAP gives us, and it shows all the forms available in SAP Business One. So there's a bunch of forms. That search is not very friendly. So you have to roll down, and finally at one point you're going to get the sales document. So I have the sales order here. So I click my sales order and it's added to the document. I will update it. So what the system took, it took a picture of my sales order document as it is now, and he put it on the file, in that file with the current settings. So when I'm in there, I can go click, and then I can go in and edit the form in the UI. So I click edit form UI. It brings me a new window with sales order UI edit mode, where I can do different things. I can add field, I can move field, I can add tab, and I can disable, enable field. And this is not limited only to the grid as with the form setting, but it's available for all the field on the form. So let's look at what we can do with it. So first I will if I want, I can go in my logistic tab. I can move one field. So I will take my shipping type. In my shipping type, I want it to be on my start screen. So I'll just take the field, drag it where I want it to be, and I drop it, and it's moved. That's one thing we can do with it. Another thing we can do, I don't want my user in customer service to see the accounting tab. So I could go in and I could right click and do the UI. Where is it? Restore default. Why is it not showing?
It's because you're used to seeing it in French.
No, no, no. It's just that it doesn't show me the. No, sorry. I have to go on my form settings. You'll see in the form setting you have one more. In the form setting, usually you have 3 tabs. Now you have one more tab, which is called UI element. On that UL element, it gives me all the field on all the tabs. So I can do what I could do on the grid only. Now I can do on all the fields. So I can go in and go on my accounting tab, and I say I don't want my customer service people to look at the accounting tab. So I can just come in and click and make that tab not visible. So that now that field has disappeared. Hold on a second. Okay. So now I don't have the tab anymore. So for all users that are going to assign that tab, they won't see the accounting tab, so they can't do anything with the tab. I can also do the same thing with logistic field. Field by field, I can go in and make that field allow partial delivery. I can only make it visible. I can say the BP channel name and BP channel contact. It's not the field that we're using in our business, so I will simply hide those 2 fields. So as I'm clicking on there, if I go back in my logistic tab, those fields, see my allow partial delivery is now read only, and my 2 fields that I just removed, they're gone from the window. So from all the forms, I can do this on all forms for all fields. So it's very nice. Also, what it allows me, I can create tab. You know, sometimes we have user-defined field and they on the left side, or some customer put it at the bottom. But if we want, we can create an extra tab on our forms. And on our form, we can move those fields in. It's quite simple. Just need to come here and add a tab. And I will name my tab UDF tab. And it will create a new tab, just been added here on the window. And when I go on that tab, that's empty. So now I can drag my field here and put those fields all here. So I go one by one. I'm going to move it a little bit to the
That's
left.
very practical, Guy, because, you know, the side window, like myself, that's the way I'm set up, but I think that's nice to have it in there like that.
Yeah, it's the it's because sometimes also sometimes with the add or remove with the let's see because when we use user defined field, there's a bunch of field here, and sometimes the field is for the purchase order, sometimes the field is for the sales order, sometimes it's for the invoice. But when we open the right side window, all the fields are available, and there's most of them they're not used. So what we create a sales order template, then we create a UDF, and on that UDF window, we only put the field that are linked to the sales order, that are for the sales order. Then we do the same thing for the invoice, and we put the field that's only available, relevant to the invoice document. So So there's not all the mix and match on the left hand side with the user defined field. You create the own tab, and the field you put in there is the field that are really for that document.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
that could be very helpful,
Mm,
especially when you have multiple user and
absolutely.
training talks and all that stuff. It's very it's nice to be able to do this. So here I want to align my field. There's a little thing we could do, like align the field. I'll right click and I'll do align to the left, so all my field will be aligned. I can put my field the same width as the one above, so to make it nice. So that I could do that like this, and my window is my window is created. From there, what I need to do, I can do all the change I want. I can go back and do some more change, and I can come back and do some more change. Doesn't really matter. What we need to do at the end, we need to save that change we made. So I just save it, and now it's saved. So now when I close this and I reopen it, when I reopen it for editing, it's all the fields are the way it's supposed to be. I have my UDF and all that stuff. So this is one form that was done. So I could do another form for that for customer service. At customer service, they're also using the business partner. Let's say they're using the business partner. So I could select the business partner form. Like one
Guy,
of
just a
my
second. I
yeah,
just want to know when what version were we allowed to do all these changes? Was it always there, or?
no, this came up in 9.0 or 9.1. I
Okay,
think more in 9.1.
okay,
So it's there for about 2.5, 3 years. It's been available since then,
okay, good. Sorry.
2016. No,
Okay.
okay. So let's say customer service. Sometimes they have to add contact and add addresses to a customer. So on one of my customer, we customized he didn't want the customer service to see any other information than the contact or the address of the customer. Didn't want to see him available to change the price list or change anything else. So he created a form for the business partner only for the customer service, where you can only see the address and only see the contacts. So when you open the form, you can only add address, modify address, or add contact or modify contact, because that's basically what you had to do. So we can do it for customer service. Then if I need to create another one, I could create another form, add a new for a new department. Let's say I want to do one for the AR department, AR department, AR, yeah, AR department. And then I can create my new template. And let's say my AR department, we want them to have exactly the same template as what I give to my customer service. So there's a tool in SAP when we can just click and copy what we created, the base form we created for customer service. We can copy it, and we copy it to the AR department user. So let's go and do this, and then I click this. So now it's copied. So when I go in my AR department, my form, as I built it for the customer service, is already there. So I just need to go in, and then for them, I want them to look at the I want them to look at the how you call it, the accounting tab. So I can come and I just check the accounting tab. The accounting tab is back. Then I can go. I can remove some field for them on the logistic tab, as maybe they don't want to know if it was ship complete and all that stuff, or drop the old tab as one. But now I have my form for that guy, and it took just one change, and it's done for the receivable for the AR department. So that's one easy way to do the change. Once all of this is done, let's say I go with my customer service, I could assign this to user, or I could assign it to user group. I'm going to assign it to one user. I'm going to show how it looks. So what it gives me the list of all users in the company. available. So me, I have one other user that when I assign, it's Bob. If I can find him, Bob is over here. So Bob will use the customer service template for the sales order. So when I go in, I close. So Bob now is now assigned that form. If I change user, if I go and I log on with Bob, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, password. It's just easy to remember. Well, is in French though. Bob is in French. I'm going to change it to English.
Your password's the same as mine.
Yeah. English. I don't know if you're using 9.1 or 9.2, but they added that little my personal setting on the top of the window, on the top of the toolbar, and it's very handy for all the thing that you require. It's very nice. We can switch language, you can switch font quite easily, and just go change the font size just by clicking on the user. Before we had to go in the menu and all that stuff. Now it's right from the toolbar. It's very nice. Sales AR, I go in my sales order and I'm using Bob, and Bob, as you can see, the shipping type is on the window. He's got his UDF screen over here. The field that we hid, they're there. So now that's his form. So if we have a whole department, we have 10 person at customer service, we can just create one template, we assign them to the user, and it's done. In my younger days, it was very long to do that stuff, as we had to repeat it for every single user, and we're not able to copy those settings. So that's very helpful now to have that tool from SAP. So I'll go back with my manager. When I go in my UI template, also what I have the I can assign it to a user group. Since 9.0, SAP has created a user group, and it's a very nice tool. It allows us to really group our user, and within each group, we can set from which function we want to create that group. So we could create a group for authorization, can create a group for alerts, we could create for UI configuration, or we can have a group that's, let's say I create a group that's for my customer service, and if I say it's across all type, then it's for authorization, it's for the UI form, and it's for all the alerts. So every time I set an authorization form and I assign the user to that group, I only have to do authorization one and then assign the user to a group, and it's done. So it's same thing for the UI. When I said instead of flagging all user, I could flag the group, and all the user within that group are taken care of. So when you add a new user, you just make sure you assign it to the right group, and the setup is done. The authorization is done, the template is assigned, and all that stuff. So it's make life easier when you do your setting for the user. So we can have as many template as we want. And within a template, we can have as many form as we want. Like the US sample form, it's most of the time we try to limit the number of forms, but we try to add multiple templates. That's one way that's one way I'm doing it. I'm doing more template with less forms than having a big template like they give us with the US template, with the US sample, where they give basically all the template, which is not necessarily what we want. So, like I told Tracy, I would tell you it's about 20 minutes long to do this. If you have any question, if you have any comment,
Yeah,
if you ever used
there's
it.
the chat box there if you have any questions. And if you're going to type anything, I just want to specify we had with Guy a web session in March on a product called Boyum B1 Up, which is the usability package, Business One usability package. And we showed advanced UDFs and uh, is it tool placements they call it, Guy? Les outils d'emplacement ou
C'est BY, c'est ouais, c'est B1 Up Placement Tool. C'est ça.
placement tool. That's it. So it also does it. If anyone's on Boyum and you missed that one, you can always ask me for a recording of it. I keep copies. And just a little mention on our YouTube page. If you go in, just type in Forgestic on YouTube, we have all of our past web sessions on our page on the video tab. And if you click on the list, you can see the whole list. So, everything's there. So, we're still trying to organize it, but I was just specifying that in case anybody needed anything. But you can still just flag me down if you need something. So, nobody has any questions, guys? I know it was a quick session, but I find this really important. It's interesting material to cover. So, well, I guess that's it then. You didn't have anything else, Guy, to show us on that?
No, just that
You're good.
it's a very nice tool. It's finally there, finally
Uh,
here.
okay, well, good. Well, thanks, everybody. And Guy, merci. Bon weekend.
Welcome.
Have a nice weekend, everybody. Bye, Brenda. Okay, bye, everyone. See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.